Hey you guys, it is your Gothic sexy queen here, back with another lit fire banger video. With no further ado, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, that post notification bell button. Don't forget to add me on all my social media links. They'll all be linked down in my link tree in my description below. Also, I'm on Spoon as well, so go follow me on Spoon. Don't forget to go buy some merch on my merch line. I will be putting more merch out next year, and I want to say thank you to 7,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, you guys, for the love and support that you guys show me, and I love you guys so much. Next thing I want to say is welcome back to Tips and Advice, episode 3. I know I haven't been uploading a lot of episodes on this series, but I will be continuing, so stay tuned. And yeah, so it's time to start episode 3 of Tips and Advice. And let's cue that black shadow to start this episode. Hey you guys, and welcome back to Tips and Advice, a series that was requested to me by a subscriber, by one of my friends, Rosa. So, hi Rosa. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, and thank you for requesting this series, and let's go. So this series title, the title of this episode, I'm talking backwards. The title of this episode is going to be Tips and Advice on how to deal with a judgmental mother or judgmental parent or judgmental parents. So first we're going to do moms, and then we're going to do dads. And the reason why we're going to do moms is because I have more experience with my judgmental mother than with my judgmental father. My father is sometimes judgmental of my choices, but he's more supportive to me than my mother is. So we're gonna do moms and then dads. I do get more judgmental remarks from my mother than I do get my father, so that's why I have more experience with talking about this with my mom than my dad. So first we're going to talk about tips, and then I'm going to give you examples and advice. So first tip with a judgmental mother is to try to defend yourself, which is kind of what I do. When I'm getting judged for something that I like, I try to defend myself. Like usually, example, my clothing taste. I am Gothic, been Gothic for 8 years, going to be 9 years in 2021 of September 2021 is going to make 9 years that I've been Gothic, and I'm not going back. I've been Gothic since I was 14. I'm 21. I'm gonna be 22 next year, and it's been 9 years that I've been Gothic. Almost double digits when I turned 23. Sorry guys, my cat got me distracted. So what I usually do is when she tells me there's so many pretty colors out there, I say, to defend myself, I say, Mom, I like black, dark purple, dark red, and dark blue, and silver. I will not be that girly girl that you want me to be. My advice for you is, if she can't accept that you are a certain way, or that you choose to live a certain lifestyle, then just try to ignore all her remarks about that certain thing. Like try to ignore her remarks. Okay, let's say you just came out to her about being gay. It's gonna take her a little while, but she's always going to come out with that remark to your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Oh, I want kids. Oh, I wish and for the boys, oh, I've always wanted a daughter. And I know that's gonna hurt, but there's only so much you can do. And I don't commit. I don't, honestly. I don't honestly advise you to think about suicide. It's hard for me not to think about suicide, but I have my fiance and I have my cats to help me with her judgmental remarks. I'm also going to be bringing one of my cats with me when I go to her house to help me ignore her. So what I'm trying to do is, yes, I have a son that likes to see his grandmother, but I can't stop going there because then I'm going to stop her interaction with her grandson, and then that's going to make the situation worse. So what I'll do is something to help me. What I'll do is I will, sorry, I got distracted. What I'll do is I'll just try to help me with the situation. So I'm going to bring one of my cats to help me deal with her judgmental remarks. Yeah. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is if she judges everything, your choice in animal love, your choice in clothing, your choosing in style, don't take her shopping. That is the number one thing. Do not take her shopping. My mom has been begging me to go shopping for the longest, and I am so terrified to go shopping because I feel like we're going to be like that mother and daughter to argue in a store, and now it's going to be very embarrassing considering I don't like confrontation as I grown up. I like to try to keep myself away from confrontation, and that's just going to give me that attention that I just don't want. All those people staring at me, it's just going to be very awkward. So, but yeah. But that is tip number 2. If your mom cannot accept your style, do not take her shopping because you'll just end up having a confrontation. And my advice to you is just go shopping on your own. And what I usually do is I usually shop online, and that has nothing to do with the fact that I don't want to shop with her. It's just I like shopping online. It's just I don't have to have a lot of human interaction with people. I shop online, things get delivered to me. Yes, sometimes I get scammed with things and stuff like that, and then I gotta do all that stuff. But I'd rather do that than go into a store and have to ask people to find me things, because I feel like I'm a bother and I feel like I'm annoying people by doing that, even though it's their job. It's how I feel. Tip number 3. If your mom is judging you about your animal taste, saying, oh, you should like this rather than like this, it's time to have a talk when you are ready. I'm not ready to have that talk with my mom, so I just take all the abuse she gives me, and I just take all the remarks she gives me, and then I just go home and I hug my cats, and sometimes I cry because it's just a lot of abuse, like not mental, but it's a lot of like verbal abuse that I just can't take, and I've been dealing with it since I turned Gothic, and I've been, yes, I like dogs, but I don't have the same love that I have for dogs that I have for cats. And if I was to ever get a dog, I've said this in multiple videos before, it would be a Great Dane, because that is my favorite type of dog. I understand they're big dogs, but I like big dogs. I don't like little puppies. You will not see me with a little tiny puppy. I don't like little puppies. I like Great Danes. And she wants me to get a dog. So let's say I get a Great Dane. She's gonna be like, why did you get a dog that big? And I'm gonna be like, you want me to get a dog, right? I get a dog. So, but it's like tip number 4. If you feel like you can never please your mother, make your mother happy, that you're just never good enough, like none of the decisions you make are good enough for her, just stop. Do you, and just stop trying to impress her, because it's never going to work. I bought a marble black dining table with 4 leather chairs, and I thought my mom's gonna like this purchase. I showed her the picture and she had such a nasty face. She made such a nasty look. I don't know if that could have been because she liked it and she was jealous, or she just didn't like it and she felt like I could do better. So yes, and that's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is, if your mother can talk bad about you behind your back, I don't want to say she's not a mother, but she's really not a mother. And my advice on how to deal with that is just ignore it. I know it's hard, but she's someone that you could be that type of person and cut her out, or you could be that type of person and just ignore her. And I'm the type of person that I just try to ignore her. I know she talks about me behind my back. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it's just the fact that I try to deal with it. Sometimes I do things that my mom doesn't like, and instead of her telling me, she goes to her friend and she'd be like, my daughter did this, and this, and I'm like, yo, like, why? Like, why do you gotta do that? Like, I don't like that. But I don't tell her that, which is the reason why she could do it. She keeps doing it because I don't bring it to her attention. But if you have the courage to bring it to your mom's attention, then fuck yes, do it. But yeah. Anyways, now we're moving to the dad. So I did 5 tips for the mom and 5 tips for the dad. It's gonna be a little hard because I don't have experience in this, but basically, it took my dad about I think until I was like 19 to like just accept that, okay, she's Gothic, she ain't changing. That's just it. She's gonna be wearing these weird ass boots. She's gonna be wearing these weird ass platform sneakers. She's gonna be wearing these fucking spikes. She's gonna be wearing these fucking chokers, these weird hairbands with cat ears and spikes, and these hairbands with spikes and all this weird crap. And sometimes she's gonna be walking in my house look like a Gothic clown with all this makeup and black lipstick, and she's always gonna have this black nail polish. It took him a while to understand that that's just going to be me. Like I said, I was Gothic at 14. It took him until I was 19 to accept that I was Gothic. So it took him about 6 years, I think. About 5 to 6 years. I'm 21. I've been Gothic for 8 years. So it took him until I was like 19. And I bought a pair of these ankle boots for my 18th birthday. And I was pregnant at this point. And he said, are you ever going to change? And I was 17. He still hasn't accepted it. He was like, are you ever going to like stop? Like, what are you going to tell your kid when he sees you with that stuff on? And I'm going to be like, and I responded, and I told him, I'm going to tell him the same thing I'm about to tell you. I'm Gothic. I'm not going to change for you. I'm not going to change for my kid. I'm not going to change for Joey. I'm Gothic. That's it. And he kept bothering me about it a little. He still kind of thinks the things I wear are crazy. And, yeah. But I'm still going to wear them because I'm 21 and I can do whatever the fuck I want. Because I'm an adult now. And it's my choices over their choices, no matter if they don't like it or not. So that's my experience, but a lot of people have different experiences. So my tip is to just try to defend yourself. Like I said with the mom, try to defend yourself like I defend myself with my dad. It's more easier for me to talk to my dad sometimes than to talk to my mom. It's just, my mom is very confrontational and my dad is kind of low-key. So sometimes it's easier to talk to him, and then sometimes it's really not. But when it comes to defending myself towards him, it's kind of easy. I don't have that hard time and confrontational time with him that I have with my mom. So if you have a parent, and I'm gonna say this, if you have a mom and a dad, or a mom or dad, and you feel like, oh, I could talk to my sister more than I can talk to my mom, go ahead, do it. And if you feel like your sister's not gonna backstab you and talk to your mom and tell your mom what you told your sister, then go ahead, if you trust her. If you can talk to your mom more than you can talk to your dad, well, do whatever helps you. If you can talk to your dad more than you can talk to your mom, go ahead. I'm most likely try to talk to my mom more just because my dad's in like a 6 type of state and I can barely understand him when I talk. When I talk, just want to make sure I heard myself right. But yeah, so tip number 1 for the fathers is try to defend yourself. Sometimes fathers can be a little bit understanding and sometimes they can't. Sometimes they're gonna judge you for a few, and then finally they're just gonna be like, I'm just gonna accept them. Because it was my lifestyle was interfering with me and my dad's relationship. So I think my dad just sucked it up and was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it alone. So yeah, that's tip number 1. But my advice to you is try to defend yourself. It works sometimes. If they're very understanding and they love you and they don't want to kick you out of their lives, they will accept you some point. It took my dad a while. I was 19 when he accepted that I'm always going to be Gothic and I'm never going to go back to that girly girl wearing all pink like that I was when I was 13. So yes, it does take a while and you need to have a lot of patience. It's going to get a lot of aggravation. You're going to be very aggravated. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be stressed. You're going to cry. You're going to have meltdowns, but it will take time. And I'm telling you everything that I did. I had meltdowns. I cried. I was like, you know, why can't he just accept that I'm Gothic and stuff like that? And it took a while. A lot of arguments and stuff like that. But we're going to go to tip number 2 before I keep rambling. Tip number 2 is respect. Now, in order to not have a toxic parent or a judgmental parent, you need respect between the kid and the adult. Now, this is basically for teenagers between 13, because that's kind of when we start talking back. So between 13 and 19, and adults by 21 and up, even those 25-year-old kids that still live with their parents. Anyway, I'm not calling you out. I am 21 and have my own apartment, but I am not calling you out. Anyway, so tip number 2 is respect. You have to have respect between both parties, the kid and the parent. The parent can't respect the kid and the kid doesn't respect the parent, and the kid can't respect the parent if the parent doesn't respect the kid. My advice to you is make sure that there is ground. Make sure that there's rules. Make sure that each party knows their place and they keep their place and they don't step over their boundaries. My advice is to have a meeting with your parents if you feel like you're not being respected or you feeling that they're stepping your boundaries, because that can be very toxic and judgmental, because they're probably being very judgmental, like to your friends, and being like da, 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 and talking over their boundaries and just talking a little too much, and it could be embarrassing. Tip number 3 is just, like I said, okay, so we did respect. Now we're gonna do communication. I don't have a lot of communication with my parents just because I try to keep my distance, but I am very close with them and I do talk to them a lot, but I don't go over as much as I used to before. So we have more communication over the phone than in person, and before we had a lot of communication in person than over the phone. But you know, they've gotten a lot of, you know, a little bit of toxicness and they got a little judgmental. So now I kind of try to keep my distance, because every time I go over there, I just get a little overwhelmed when I leave. So now I try to just keep my distance. I just go there once in a while so they could see the baby and stuff like that. Of course, I'm going over for Christmas to open presents and stuff like that. But like after Christmas, I won't be there until New Year's. Get my draft. But tip is you need communication with your parents. And if there's a reason why you don't have communication with your parents, then if you don't talk to them on the phone and if you don't see them in person, then I don't really think that anything could be done to fix that. I think that relationship is just doomed from the start. And I think that was tip number 3. I'm sorry if that wasn't. I can't really keep track. It's almost the next day and I'm doing this video. It's almost 12. Let me check. What time is it? Yes, it's 11:27 p.m. and I'm doing this video and my brain is getting tired, so sorry. But tip number 4 is you have to have, you know, a little bit of ground rules. So like, if you argue a lot with your parents, you gotta, and you're an adult, this tip is for the adults, not for the 13 to, I should say 13 to 17, because 18 and 19, you guys can basically be out whatever time you want. So this is from the 13 to 17-year-olds. This does not apply to you. This applies from the 18 through 19 through 20, the 18 to 29 and up. You guys need like ground rules. Like, okay, I'm gonna be home at this time, and I'm gonna be home at this time, and this person's coming over today. You can't just like let someone pop up at your house and expect your mom not to judge you or not to be mad at you and be like, well, you know, there has to be some ground rules, you know, and I'm not just talking about judgmental parents. I'm talking about respect for your parents. I'm talking about toxicity and stuff like that. Parents can get toxic over the time. You know, if they feel like, you know, you're not doing good for, you're not, what you're doing is not good for you. And sometimes parents do think that, because parents always think they know best, sometimes parents think that your decisions that you're making are not right. So now they want to step in and not be judgmental and be a little toxic and make choices for you. And you might not want that. You might want to make choices for yourself and be an adult, but you can't do that because you were trying and your parents saw that you were trying and they saw that you were struggling. So now they want to help you and you don't want their help. So my advice to you on that is try to be independent. Try to have a little bit of ground rules with your parents. And also, just, I guess, try to have a little respect. And, you know, I know judgmental toxicity parents are not the easiest to deal with. Trust me, I have a not toxic, I shouldn't say toxic, but I have a judgmental mother. And a lot of the times she wants to make choices for me. And it's just like, I want to say no, I don't want it, I don't need it, but she's almost in like her late 60s and I don't want to hurt her feelings, so I just let her help. But yeah. And tip number 5, we are ending episode 3 of tips and advice really soon. Tip number 5 is just basically be happy, or try to be happy with your judgmental mother. And what I mean by at least try, at least, you know, don't show her that what she says bothers you. Most of the time when my mom says a remark, I try not to show it, or if I show it, I'll like shoot a look at my fiance, like a look to say like, this, like what she just said kind of bothered me. Like, why does she got to be that way? And he'll catch my drift and he'll like try to comfort me, try to rub my back, just tell me to relax and stuff like that. Sometimes I go out for walks while I'm there and stuff like that. So my advice to you is just don't show your expressions. It's just gonna make the situation worse. And my tip for you is just try to be happy and don't show it. You need communication and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't have that much communication. I've been through a lot with my parents in the near future, and I am gonna be putting out a video soon talking about my journey about being homeless and what did I go through. I'm gonna talk about the whole thing. I'm gonna talk, that video might be coming in the new year just because it's a very long video. It might be coming the last week of December. I don't know when I'll film it, but I know it's coming soon. And what was it like to be a blind person and be homeless and I'm gonna talk about how I became homeless and what happened and all that. So that will definitely be coming soon in the near future. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video about toxic judgmental parents, tips and advice on how to deal with it. There will be an episode 4 coming really soon on tips and advice once I figure out what else to do, because I had a very hard time trying to figure out this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I apologize for the noise in the background in the beginning. That was my fiance watching sports and wrestling, so sorry about that. But anyways, he did move to the bedroom for the most end of the video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to add me on all my social media links. They'll all be linked down in the description below, a part of my link tree. Don't forget to add me on Spoon so I can make some recordings and we can talk or whatever. I don't really know what Spoon is. I've just heard about the app and I wanted to join it, so I joined it. But anyway, don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family and anybody else you guys think that might enjoy this video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for 7,000 subscribers, and yeah, peace.